morning, we're privileged to welcome Anita McBride to our studio. She is a former White House staffer and renowned author. Later today, Anita will be speaking at the McFadden Ward House, sharing insights from her latest book, Remember the First Ladies, The Legacies of America's History-Making Women. Anita, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, we don't want to give too much away, but kind of give us a summary of what all you'll be talking about today.
Sure. So we're going to try and capture 248 years of American history through the lens of First Ladies in our lecture tonight at the McFadden House. I'm very excited to bring the stories of these women who really do represent important part of our history. The arc of American history cannot be fully understood unless we study these women as partners to the presidency and how they have contributed to our nation's story.
At times some people may say that, the First Ladies are overlooked. What do you say to the critics who claim that First Ladies are just merely the spouses of presidents?
Well, I'll say this. Our first president, George Washington, knew immediately his was a two-person job and that he could not do the job without the help of Martha, as both head of government and head of state needed support in the head of state role. That's the ceremonial function, but that soft power that comes with that role is very important. Now, over time, as women have gained more rights in our country and they've had a voice in the public square, become political actors of their own, we've seen First Ladies act as leaders to be engaged in issues, important social issues of our times.
Can you give us some examples of how First Ladies have impacted, those social issues?
Well, you have three First Ladies right here from Texas. I mean, Lady Bird Johnson, of course, was an ardent environmentalist, really our nation's first conservationist First Lady, and really laid the groundwork for Americans to really care about their natural landscape. She was instrumental behind the passing of the Highway Beautification Act, which really changed how our nation's highways are maintained. Then, of course, you have Barbara Bush, who was dedicated to literacy, and the foundation that she founded in her name right after becoming First Lady is still operating after 35 years. And Laura Bush, too, as a teacher and also someone invested in literacy, cared about education reform, but also found herself in a position after 9/11 having to respond to the nation's grief and be a comforter as well.
You say we're discussing 248 years of history, right? I'm interested in knowing, how did you learn all of this? What did you do to know so much?
Well, the first thing is, I was very lucky to have a front row seat to history. I worked in 3 White House administrations for President Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush. And the pinnacle of my career was Chief of Staff to Laura Bush in the second term of the Bush administration, and really had an appreciation for how multifaceted this role is. When I left the White House, I was hired by American University in Washington, D.C. to create a first ever program that studies the legacies of America's First Ladies. That's what I've been doing the last 15 years, nationwide conferences with the best experts. And 2 other collaborators with me were approached by an academic publisher in California to produce the first textbook of any level on First Ladies, which we released in August 2023. So slowly we are getting this material. And in fact, all students who first read the book said, why did we never learn this information before? So we know we're filling a gap in literature.
Yeah, that's a lot of history that people, need to be reminded of.
Right.
Now, the lecture is happening tonight at the McFadden Ward House. At what time?
It's at 6:30 this evening. And I'm also doing a book signing of our book, Remember the First Ladies, The Legacies of America's History-Making Women. So I'm very, very happy to be here. It's a very special place in Texas.
And it's a free event, so anyone can come and listen to this lecture. What are you hoping people take away from it?
I hope they're inspired by these stories. I hope they come away saying, wow, I did not know that before and I want to know more, and really appreciate how these women over the arc of our history have really helped to push the nation forward, have been a partner to the president, have tried to maintain a private life in the public eye. And really, I think as we're heading towards an inauguration now next week, and we have a historic moment with a First Lady returning for a second non-consecutive term like the president is. Again, all of these things are moments in history that it's important to peel back the layers and understand what's happening.
And one more question, with your position at the White House, how has that inspired you, or even inspired you to dig into more history of First Ladies?
I think I know I appreciated the role and how multifaceted it was. You can go from planning a state dinner in the morning to planning a secret trip to a war zone in an afternoon. I mean, that's just what is required of a First Lady. Although I have to say one thing, people need to know there is no position description for this role. There's no statutory authority. Every person comes in and makes it their own.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
Tia.
good luck today.